Watch what's approaching, the supreme moment. Reality striking closer than it seems, don't it? Go ahead, it's for the taking if you want it. If not, the dream dies and you'll be forever haunted. Then confront it.
What's good, everyone? I think it's been a little while since we treated Zamasu as pretty much the punching bag. We haven't bullied him in a while, so got to bring back the Kaioken mechanic test. This one's a very ideal one to test out because of the not only the Kaioken mechanic ability built in to raise attack and defense on this unit, the unit itself is a Kaioken Goku unit, so it's only befitting that we test this out in this environment. For those watching for the first time, the format is always this. We start off from the base, so you'll see turn 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on, and then we're going to continuously stack up the super attack levels through, raising attack and defense, and see how things play out toward, 99 turns and plus, just because, there is a 99 turn restriction in terms of like stacking attack and defense. It's not necessarily unlimited, but that is the format for that. I did throw out a question last time, so shout out to Too Crispy with the correct answer as B for the dog's name that Hercule and Majin Buu saved during the Majin Buu saga, so shout out to you for that one. I think for this one, we'll keep it relatively simple. What's my favorite LR unit in the game in today's age of Dokkan? So if you know the answer, go ahead and comment away, and I'll feature you and give you a shout out on the next video. So back to the showcased unit. This is, again, the Extreme Z Awakened Kaioken Goku. At 100% potential, he's got the following stats of 12,886 for HP, attack is 13,536, and defense is 9,747. For the leader skill, it's not bad for the Extreme Z area. All types Ki +3, HP, attack, and defense increase of 60%. Again, Kaioken mechanic ability with the super attack greatly raises attack and also raises defense and causes supreme damage to enemy. Now, the greatly raised attack will be the equivalent of a 50% increase for every super attack, whereas the raised defense ability will be a 20% equivalent to the increase toward defense. Now moving on to the passive skill, attack and defense increase of 70% plus an additional attack increase of 50% when performing a super attack with 3 or more agility Ki Spheres obtained, and also performs a critical hit with 5 or more agility Ki Spheres obtained. So with that being said, in the passive skill sets, I did bring in the EZA AGL Super Saiyan 2 Angel Goku because he is an orb changer that has the ability to, convert the strength type over to the agility type Ki Spheres. And I basically threw him off in the other rotation. That way, basically, whenever Kaioken Goku comes up, he'll pretty much have the agility Ki Spheres lined up for him. So you can kind of position yourself in a way, and even, on a typical run or whatever the case is on Goku's family / sibling spawn, you can go in that format and it'll pretty much almost guarantee your chances of being able to fulfill the 5 or more agility Ki Spheres, not only to guarantee yourself a crit, but also get that extra 50% toward attack as well. So that's kind of the game plan with that, and that's pretty much the format with this particular setup. Now, in terms of links, he's got All in the Family, that is defense increase 20% at level 10. Saiyan Lineage is Ki +2, attack and defense increase 5%. Kamehameha's attack increase 10% when performing a super attack. Shocking Speed is Ki +2 and defense increase of 5%. Over in a Flash is Ki +3 and attack increase of 7%. And also Shattering the Limit is Ki +2 and attack and defense increase of 5%. In terms of categories, he's on Pure Saiyan's Full Power, Goku's Family, Kamehameha, Final Trump Card or Last Resort, and then All Out Struggle. And I was a little bit on the fence of, which category team setups or team builds to go with. I ultimately ended up with the Goku's Family just because, some of the links are shared with the Kaioken Goku, not necessarily a full set, but I did throw in the EZA exchange unit Goku and Gohan, as well as the Int LR Goku as well, just because they do provide decent support with the passive skills, and they do at least share like 2 to 3 links at a minimum, so it works out in that regard. I get this question a lot when it comes to these types of videos, but if you're trying to replicate this yourself, The rule of thumb really is you do have to bring in a type disadvantage weak unit, ideally something that's pretty minimal in the potential system, low SA, whatever the case is. Basically, you want to assign that unit to take all the Dokkan mode attacks. That way you're able to minimize how much Rose actually takes some damage, so you're able to extend the battle pretty much as much as you want, well within the 99 turn limit if you do it well. Now you do have to be careful about it because, you know, the Dokkan mode, you do have to kind of gauge it and think about it a couple of turns ahead of time. Otherwise, you're going to go through the process of wasting well over an hour plus and come to find out you're not able to get to the 99 turns. I've done it plenty of times, so it does happen. So for those trying to kind of replicate this on your own time, that's pretty much the recommendation I have for that. Now, initially, right, with this unit, the AGL Ki Spheres requirement was a little bit similar to the EZA for the Berserker Kale, right? In order to fully take advantage of the passive skill sets, you do have to, you know, go through like a type-specific Ki Sphere, a certain amount obtained. And, you know, in some cases, it doesn't really work out well, like Berserker Kale, you have to force in certain units over others, but I think it's okay with the Kaioken Goku, especially on this, you know, sibling bond and Goku's family setup, because again, the Super Saiyan 2 Angel Goku is a pretty damn good unit, and also has the ability to convert the strength type ki into the agility ki. The only thing I will say is you do have to compromise in terms of him not being able to collect as much ki, because you have to keep it in reserve for the next rotation for the Kaioken Goku. But it's doable and it's more than manageable. So my opinion is it's perfectly fine with that setup. I'm trying to think, like, basically the problem I ran into too is this guy does hit a lot. Once you get, you know, even at like turn 40, you're looking at a pretty decent damage applied. So think about, in combination to that, having the LR Gohan and Goten, right, where they're potentially being able to do multiple super attacks for, you know, 4 million plus, you know, and whatnot. So the thing I did worry about was Zamasu getting KO'd before that 99 turn actually hit. But, you know, those are things you have to be wary about. I think the other, you know, plus alpha item or a component that does kind of throw in a little bit of a monkey in the wrench is if you bring in too many units that do have the ability to stun, that could pretty much potentially lower your chances of being able to get through the whole 99 turns, because again, if Zamasu gets stunned, he loses the ability to recover the you know, 99.99 million HP, so you do have to be a little bit cautious in that regard too. But overall, this really comes down to just it's a simple and fun experiment to run every time, right? This is obviously very unrealistic in terms of, you know, the amount of turns we actually go through, but ultimately this is more or less, you know, just to kind of test them out, each individual unit that has this ability, just to see how, you know, high their attack or defense, or in some cases like this where both of them do continuously go up, and see how high they actually get up to, and that's really ultimately what's fun about it. So again, not really realistic, you'll never see it to this level, especially in the second half of the video, but nevertheless, it's a lot of fun to run this. So I think a lot of you guys share the same sentiment and enjoy it as well. So yeah, with that being said, I mean, this guy, I already knew this guy was going to do well. It's just a matter of how well he would actually do, right? And as you saw in the beginning, I did slap on some skill orbs to the unit. I think most of the time, or mostly, it was centered around increasing the super attack level and also the additional little bit. So he does have level 17 additional attack and level 10 toward crits. I wanted to go a little bit heavier toward the additional attack, because honestly you don't really have to worry about the crits. As long as you are able to get 5 or more agility Ki Spheres, you're pretty much going to get critical hits every time. So, and like I said, you can mitigate that with a couple of units on several categories, so you can you know, kind of make do with it. But again, like, additional attacks, a heavy focus on it would optimize the chances in terms of like this guy's ability to you know, stack up the attack and defense as much as possible. A lot of it is, at the end of the day, RNG based, but you can do things on your own where you do kind of, you know, better your chances, so to speak. So that's pretty much, you know, the format and you know, process that goes behind it. Again, I don't necessarily want to use the best of equipment or skill orbs toward, you know, units like this, where I don't necessarily plan on, you know, using on a regular basis. It's more or less for showcase purposes, but you know, you certainly do have that option. But all in all, I mean, this guy's a pretty decent unit. I could certainly see myself finding a couple of different teams and uses for this guy, but I think it's mostly going to be centered around another unit option for the Extreme Z area. Obviously, the leader skill's pretty good compared to some of the other ones. You know, the Tech EZA Majin Vegeta's a good leader for the Extreme Z areas as well, but this guy's certainly a good secondary lead, I guess, or option, so to speak. But anyways, we'll go ahead and close out here. We're at turn number 100, so I've left a bunch of, you know, attack boosting items. We're actually going to increase it as much as possible. Luckily, all the Ki Spheres changed to agility key type, so with the Chile item, we're able to boost the attack by even another 5% on top of, you know, the other items we're using, like the future Bulma, and another Bulma item, right? So we'll go ahead and close out here and see how high the stats get for this unit. But as always, hopefully you did enjoy the video, and certainly stay tuned for the next one. And until then, I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.